And hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. We have the maiden voyage of Return to Dark Tower coming at you right now on Solo Playthroughs. Pretty excited about this one. This game has so many things that I like about it. But if you watch my top 10, top 24 that I just published, there are some pretty big problems with it for me, mostly related to how the end game develops. I find some of the rules just really too easy to cheese, and the game was just not enough of a challenge, especially at smaller player counts. We have more turns per hero. It's a lot easier for the heroes to just get really overly powerful, and then you go up against the final adversary, and it just isn't tough when you get there. So for the first time in the history of solo playthroughs, I have developed some house rules so I can make this game playable for me. With what I invested in this game and how much I liked the early and mid game of it, I just wanted to find a rule set that worked for me, that I was like, you know what, this is now the game I want it to be, instead of the game that was described to me in the rule book. Hey, Greg here. Time for another shout out that goes out to one of my patrons who has supported me long enough at a level high enough to get this fancy dancy shout out in one of my videos. And this one goes out to Andrew, otherwise known as Space Meeple, otherwise known as Video Blam. He's a man of many names, and I love them all. Andrew has been hugely helpful to me. I've really enjoyed conversing with him about games, but also he's pointed me in the right direction with some audio-visual stuff over the months, and that I really appreciate as I continue to try to make the product that I can offer you bigger and better and more awesome. Now, if you get some value out of my videos and you like what I do, if you would consider being like Andrew and supporting solo playthroughs, please go on my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. See if there's a tier of support that makes sense for you. It really does go a long way as I continue to invest the time and energy that I need to make solo playthroughs a great place to be. So with that said, let's get back to the action. Thanks again, Andrew. So I'm going to put these up on the screen as I describe them. The first thing, rule number 1, solo playthroughs, how to basically make this game playable: no trading. Like, trading is an absurdly broken mechanic in this game. The fact that you can trade spirit is not thematic. It's just too easy to trade things. So I'm basically going Arkham LCG with this. No trading. Each hero is kind of on their own to figure out how they're going to get the materials they need, and it creates another layer of difficulty to the game for sure. Second thing, ally cap. Especially with the Alliances expansion, it's very easy to get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 allies. I'm not even joking. There's so many ways to get allies, and it's just insane how many allies you can get. In a 3 or 4-handed game, you probably don't need this rule, but with 2 heroes, I think this is important. So I'm going to set it still pretty high. I'm going to set it at 4. I kind of want to do 3, but because there's other ways to get allies and you might actually start with an ally, 4 seems most reasonable to me. Now with that 4, at least one of your 4 allies cannot be from one of the guilds. So that means if you have 3 guild allies and you're getting another ally who's not a guild ally, fine. If you have 3 guild allies and you're going to get a 4th guild ally, you need to discard the 1. Now, when you get a guild ally as your C, you need to tell that in the app. You'll still get the benefit of the events in general, but if there's a benefit that goes to the specific player who has that ally, you just have to ignore all of that. The most important change, I think, in how I approach this game, assuming we get to the final adversary, is that instead of being able to go in, take 2 corruptions, get through 5 cards and still win, when I play against the final adversary, I play that I have to deplete every single card that I face, which means that I can't face the adversary unless I have 4 advantages going in. Now, if I go in with 10 advantages, which is the max you can have in a battle, I can still face the 3rd card if I want. But what this means is that you're going to have to face the adversary generally 3 or 4 times, which does make it a much more interesting final showdown with the adversary, especially because they're throwing in some nasty events at you. I just prefer that challenge. When I win a game like that, I feel accomplished. And it's super cool when you finally pull it off and you go to that adversary and it's like, oh, that card's already down to its 1 pip as opposed to 5. That card's already down to 1 pip. That card's already down to 1 pip. And you can just cycle through and you kind of feel like you accomplished something a lot more than did that card, corruption, win. And I know some adversaries make that impossible, and I get all the arguments for it and why it's still earned. It just always felt cheesy to me. I don't like the mechanic at all. I think it was a really bad piece of game design in a game that otherwise I think is designed extremely well in that early and mid game. It's almost like, to me, they just didn't know how to finish it. These are my rules. If you want to adopt them for your own, that's amazing. Don't even need to cite me. But that's how I feel good about playing this game. So I randomized all of this. I didn't want to spend 30, 40 minutes of this video doing the randomization. So I just randomized all of it. I randomized the orientation of the board. I randomized the characters that I'm playing. I randomized what guild ended up in what kingdom. I literally rolled a die for every ally I placed down and randomized what order they appeared on the various guilds. Normally when I'm playing not on camera, I will also randomize what side of the guild I'm playing on, whether A or B. I know the B side is supposed to be harder. I kind of find it a little bit situational. I just put them all on the B side just to keep it simple, right? So every single guild is on the B side. So in theory, this is the hardest setup. Again, I find some of the A sides more annoying than the B sides, but we'll see how this plays out today. So right now I have Archright. She has a little bit of line of flavor text here. It says, what we build stands long after we've left the world. Yes, it does Archright. And I guess that's Archright. So let me say Archright. Like all the other heroes, she starts with 7 warriors and 1 spirit. She is from the expansion. We also have the Orphan Scion. The Orphan Scion starts with 7 heroes and 1 spirit. And her little flavor text says, standing against the darkness is not enough. We must light as well. You will see the panels that come with the Alliances expansion. I think we'll just kind of go through the rules as we play. Seems like it makes the most sense. Archright is starting in the West Kingdom, so she is the champion of the West, which gives her +2 wild advantages in Forest. The other 2 virtues that she starts with that are on her little player mat here, one is she has +1 beast advantage, and so that is innovative. The other one is clever, which says that battlements give her +2 wild advantages instead of just the 1. What's a battlement? Well, Archright, her banner action is that she gets to place a battlement anywhere she wants, or she can move a battlement already on the board up to 2 spaces. Normally, battlements will give a hero +1 wild advantage in battle, but again, for her, because of clever, it gives her +2. It's very, very strong. And that does not count as a terrain wild advantage, by the way, which could matter in certain kingdoms, which I'll explain as we get there. The Orphan Scion, her banner action is she gets +1 spirit. She has 2 virtues on the board when she starts, +1 magic advantage, that is arcane. She also is generous. After she cleanses, she removes 1 skull from any building anywhere in any of the 4 kingdoms. Champion of the South, she has +2 wild advantages. In desert, maybe, because in her kingdom, based on the druid circle starting at rank 1, spaces have no terrain type. So her +2 wild advantage in deserts is garbage as long as that is on rank 1. The good thing for the Archright is that she is starting in with the Arcane Scouts, which means that since all heroes start on the Citadel in their home kingdom, she will also start at the Druid Hall there. So she might go ahead right away and grab herself an ally because we have Ula, the Nomad right here. And I'll explain what all these allies do as we go. At rank 1, if you're in the Arcane Scouts kingdom, you cannot spend any potions. At rank 1 in the Druid Circle Kingdom, as I said, spaces have no terrain type. Rank 1 in the Kingdom of the Thieves Guild, which is the East Kingdom. At the end of your turn, you have to lose an item. That's pretty nasty. At rank 1 in the Kingdom of the Paladin's Order, at the end of your turn, you lose 3 warriors. Also pretty nasty. So some serious end of turn effects. So in some ways, it might be better to go and recruit from one of those 2 kingdoms, so we get rid of some of the nasty effects. In some ways, I'm more worried about those effects than I am about this potion garbage. I have the app here. There's no good way for me to have like an in-screen thing like I did when I did the playthrough of Descent and when I did that live. So we're just going to have my phone here, and I'll make sure I read everything that's going on the phone. I try to turn all the sound off because I'm always skittish about YouTube copyright infringement crap. There's some sounds. Honestly, the microphone in this thing isn't great. Some of the sounds are nice. I wish they had a little bit more polished. It would have been nice if it was like Bluetooth or whatever, but I kind of get why they did what they did. And you know, that's fine. A little bit more nostalgic this way is my guess. Let's move forward. I'm starting a new game. We are going to be on gritty difficulty. I think it shortens each round by about 2 or 3. Someone can totally clarify that in the comments. And then the Alliance expansion is checked off as well. So we'll be playing with that. You also make sure that you're in the cooperative mode, not the competitive mode. Hitting continue. I'm going to randomize the goal here. The goal is going to be to break Gregor's ensorcelment. Grigor, he's spelling his name wrong, by the way, but that's fine. The Unbreakable is bound by a magical oath to serve the tower. Best him in a test of martial skill to free him and win him to your side. Grigor is not a companion at the start of the game. Hitting select. Now let's randomize who our adversary is. We're going to have Grave Maw. Grave Maw is a curse upon the natural world, twisting foes into vicious, mutated versions of themselves. I'm going to select Grave Maw. We're going to randomize all the foes. So this is going to randomize the foes for level 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to have some brigands, we're going to have some frost trolls, and we're going to have some dragons. I'm going to hit continue. That is our setup. I'm going to hit continue, and now they're going to load the game. Game setup. Normally you're going to have 24 normal skulls. I'm going to remove 10 of those, and I'm going to replace them with 4 fire skulls, 2 frost skulls, and 4 omen skulls, which is fine. It means we don't have to deal with the nasty green skulls. If you don't have the Alliances expansion, these power skulls are going to be like, what the heck are these? What is this wizardry? Power skulls are awesome. I actually wish there was a way to play with the power skulls and not have the Alliances expansion. I think they add a ton to the game by themselves, and I think they'd be a much better inclusion in just a base game. I mean, I guess you could just throw them in yourself if you wanted to. And again, obviously, if you're not playing with the Alliances expansion, the purple skulls would be useless. But effectively, what these power skulls do, they give you certain negative effects if you go into a space that has one of these power skulls. You could be in a space and the power skull gets added, and at that point, it wouldn't have any effect. But if you enter a space that has a blue power skull, when you enter, you have to lose a spirit. If you enter a space that has a purple power skull, when you enter, you have to take one of the influence off of this little mat here, which I'll explain as we go. Enter a space with the green, which we will not have to do today. You have to lose an item. That is by far the nastiest one. In my experience, enter a space with the red, you have to give up 4 warriors. If you enter a space that has one of those effects and you cannot pay the cost, like normal, you would take a corruption. And again, with only 3 corruptions before you lose, a single corruption can make a huge difference. Plus the fact that it costs 5 spirit just to get rid of that sucker, generally speaking. So that is 14 regular skulls. I'm going to put these 2 blue skulls here. I'm going to put the 4 purple skulls here, and I'm going to put the 4 red skulls here as well. I'm going to put the rest of these skulls off to the side. And now that you have colored skulls, now we have to have our little skull bag. Everyone should really have a skull bag, whether or not they play this game, clearly. I'm going to place a skull on each building, including the dormant kingdoms. Again, a kingdom that does not have a hero whose home kingdom it is called a dormant kingdom. There are some in-game effects of a dormant kingdom versus a regular kingdom. Let's put these skulls down. So we have a red skull here, white, white, white. So a bunch of normal skulls in the Orphan Science home kingdom, purple skull, white, white in the Eastern Kingdom, white skull in that village, white skull in that citadel, white skull in that bazaar, white skull in that citadel, white skull in the citadel, purple skull, blue skull in the sanctuary, and then a white skull there. So there are 8 skulls remaining in the game. Let me get the cards for the various adversaries we're facing. So we're facing the brigands, we're facing the frost trolls, we're facing the dragons, and we're facing Grave Maw. Let's talk about our 4 enemies. I will try to start this with the minis. I do have the Dark Horde miniature expansion, but I might switch over to the tokens. Our level 2 foe is the brigands. The brigands have stealth and humanoid as their 2 keywords. When battling, stealth foes make you lose potions, and humanoid foes add skulls to buildings. Brigands also make you lose items as their events. Our level 3 adversary is the Frost Trolls. The Frost Trolls are melee and humanoid. When battling, melee foes make you lose gear, and humanoid foes add skulls to buildings. The events say that Frost Trolls add skulls to nearby buildings. Our level 4 adversary is the Dragon. They are melee and beast. When battling, melee foes make you lose gear, and beast foes make you lose extra warriors. The event says that dragons make you lose treasures. And then the Grave Maw is our final adversary. He is melee and beast as well. When battling, Grave Maw makes you lose a huge number of warriors. Also, Grave Maw hurts heroes based on how many foes are on the board. The event says that Grave Maw mutates foes, adding new battle cards to their decks. The mutation thing is real. Some of these keywords that start the game might not be the same keywords as the game progresses. So that could be super annoying as you're trying to plan to take on these certain adversaries. Now, Grave Maw himself, his keywords will never change. So the fact that there's overlap between Grave Maw and Dragon, at least to start the game, can be hugely helpful. But ultimately, melee is going to be something we're going to want to load up on. Humanoid potentially as well, because both the Brigands and the Frost Trolls do share the humanoid trait as well. I'm going to put these off camera for my reference. With all of that done, I'm going to hit continue. Brigands are going to start spawning. So I managed to successfully turn these sounds off. There would be a sound, but that's not happening. So the first brigand is going to spawn in the Eastern Kingdom in the outer King Hill. So of course the hardest place for me to reach. We'll put him over there. Let me see it. Looking at that real quick, I'm just going to make the decision, and we're just going to go ahead and use these little tokens. They are just a little bit cleaner for the camera. So let me get the 8 brigand tokens. This is the brigand mini. It's fairly cool, but we're just going to use the token, which looks like this. And then we're going to have the frost troll token. It looks like this. Their mini's pretty gnarly. Club action over the head. I really like the minis. I like the dark wash. I know some people really did not prefer that. I think it's cool. I would definitely prefer that every company do like a wash treatment like that. Just give me some kind of factory treatment just to bring out the detail of these minis. It's a really cool idea. For any Kickstarter, I would definitely spend the extra 20-30 bucks for that to happen. Really hoping they do something like that with Primal, the game I'm super excited about for next year. I digress. So let's get back to this game. I might use the minis for the Dragon and Grave Maw, but we'll see. You will note that these guilds are normally supposed to be centered on the kingdom. Obviously, I'm arranging this so it's easiest for me to get everything I want to get on the camera. So the first foe has been spawned. I'm going to hit next. There's going to be another brigand spawned in the South Kingdom, which is going to be the kingdom where our friend, the orphaned Scion is. And we're going to put that in Elemal's Hollow. I'm going to go next. We have our first frost troll going to be spawned in the West Kingdom. It's going to be spawned in Cloud Hold, which is right there. And then next, we're going to have a frost troll spawned in the Northern Kingdom. It's going to be spawned in the Lodestone Mountains. It will go right there. Next, now it says continue. So break Grigor's ensorcelment. Grigor the Unbreakable is bound by a magical oath to serve the tower. Best him in a test of martial skill to free him and win him to your side. Grigor is not a companion at the start of the game. Goal, quest in the Grass Sea and spend a melee, magic, stealth, humanoid, undead, and beast advantage as normal. Wild advantages may be used as any type. That is our ultimate goal. We need to get all those different kinds of advantages, and we need to go and free Grigor, and that's going to be in the Grass Sea, which is in the west. Now, I will use the tower minis to indicate where the goals are for the various months. So that's going to go right there in the Grass Sea. We're going to hit continue, and now we go to month 1. Now, month 1 is always the same in the sense that it's always 1 turn per hero, no matter how many players there are. There are very few events, but there's something really nasty that will happen at the end of the month because of the adversary you're up against, and then it will go from there. Every turn consists of 3 phases. First, you have your start of turn, banner action. Then you will have your middle of turn where you can move, do a heroic action, and do a reinforce in any order that you want. And then you have the end of turn where you drop a skull. Dropping a skull is super important. That's how the game knows that you're done with your turn. And that's how it tracks turn numbers and makes sure that it's kind of keeping track of everything from there on out. Archright is our first player. Looking at the ally available in Paladin's order, Omar the healer would give me 2 humanoid advantages. Humanoid advantages could be very important against these frost trolls. I definitely don't hate that idea. Plus, it would make the Paladin's Order Kingdom a little bit more viable to hang out with. I do like Ula a lot, however, but I think it's going to make the most sense for me to try to go get Omar. Archright is going to put out a battlement. She's going to put out a battlement here in the same space as this frost troll. That was her banner action. Archright has a move value of 3. She could spend a spirit to double her movement. She doesn't want to do that, so she's going to move 1, 2, and 3. And while Archright is over there, she's going to do a reinforce action. Her reinforce action is going to be to spend 5 influence. This is our supply of influence. When you're playing with the Alliances expansion, you start with a collective amount of 8 influence. You earn and you spend influence collectively as a group. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend 5 influence from our collective supply. So we're now down to 3. This moves this ranking up. That also gives me this ally. Problem with that is I know the month's gonna end before I have another turn. Let me not do that this turn. That is definitely something I want to do, just not this turn. Before I decide too much here, let me take a look at our starting treasures. If you're not playing with the expansion, you only have 3 treasures in the offer. If you're playing with the Alliances, you add a 4th. So our options now for treasures, we have the Golden Mace of Askell. While in a space with a foe, I can spend spirit equal to that foe's level to remove it. Gives me +1 undead advantage. We have Kamaria's Carpet. Once per turn, I can spend 1 spirit to place your hero in any space, +1 magic advantage. We have the Cloak of Stars. Once per turn, when you enter a space with a foe, place that foe in any space, +1 stealth advantage. And then we have the Coffer of the Master Thief. At the end of the month, gain 1 influence for each rank of the Thieves Guild, +1 wild advantage in the kingdom with the Thieves Guild. I like that one for sure. I don't want to go on the bazaar and lose 4 warriors, so that's a little bit of a problem. There are 4 different heroic actions you can do when you're playing with the Alliances expansion. 1 is cleanse, remove all skulls from your space. 2 is battle, you can battle the foe on your space. 3 is quest, complete a quest or explore a dungeon. And 4 is now influence. While at a citadel, you just gain 2 influence. Again, you gain and lose influence collectively. After you do any one of those actions, you get 2 spirit. The reinforced actions are like normal from the base game, plus you have the additional one where you could spend 5 influence to up a rank of one of the guilds. The original 4 are in a citadel, you have the free reinforced action of gaining a potion. You could alternatively spend 5 spirit to gain a virtue. Again, these are your locked virtues. You have 3 locked to start the game. When you're at a sanctuary, you can gain a spirit as your free reinforced action, or you can spend 5 spirit to remove all your corruptions. When you're at a village, you can gain 6 warriors for free. You can spend a spirit to gain 12, or at a bazaar, you can gain 1 gear. These are the 6 gear. I'll talk about those in a second. Or you can spend 2 spirit to gain 1 of the treasures, which is what I've already talked about. You're capped out at 4 treasures. If you were going to get a 5th, you have to give 1 away before you can take it. And then the gear are all the same. There are 6 of them. You can only have 1 of each max. 3 of them give you extra advantages. The long swords give you a melee advantage. The dusky cloaks give you a stealth advantage. The brass talisman gives you a magic advantage. And then 3 of them give you other abilities. So you have the trusted maps that gives you +1 to your base movement. You have the leather armor, presents up to 2 warrior losses per battle card. That is battle card, so it doesn't apply in dungeons or whatnot. And then the blessed scepters. After you reinforce, you get to remove 1 skull from the building on your space. All those can be highly effective. I'm going to do a reinforce action in the citadel. So I'm going to get 2 more influence for us collectively. And then I'm going to gain 2 spirit, because remember that is heroic action. Now for my reinforce action, I'm just going to grab a potion. So I can't spend a potion in the Kingdom of the Arcane Scouts as long as they're on rank 1, but I can absolutely take 1. Potion, I'll just put in some place down here. As I get treasures, I'll figure out how I want to rearrange things. So the potion I got is the Potent of the Siren Song. I did shuffle that deck before I turned the camera on. Spend to move any foe up to 2 spaces. That is the end of Archwright's turn. Not that exciting. I think it was the best option considering what I know I want to do in subsequent turns. Reaching into the skull bag to get a skull. Again, there are 8 skulls left in here. Dropping it in the center. It is going to be a blue skull. Goes in the center, and we say no events. Had the sound been on, it would have made a very exciting sound, and then told us that there's still no events. So now we go to the orphaned Zion's turn. At the beginning of her turn, she gets a spirit as her banner action. Super cool. She is going to do a cleanse action because that is what she does. Orphaned Zion is going to cleanse the citadel where she is. Let me get rid of that fire skull. And again, because of generous, after she cleanses, she removes 1 skull from any building. Let's get rid of the red skull on that bazaar as well. Those go both in the bag. That is a heroic action. So Orphan Zion was going to get her 2 spirit. She's going to move. Let's move 1. So she still has 2 more movement. Actually, Archwright never moved either. So I'll just move her there. I want to keep her in this kingdom. However, Orphan Zion getting back to her turn. So she has an allotment of 3 moves. So you can do actions and movement in any order that you want. And you can definitely do actions in between your movements. You basically get a bank of movement points, kind of like Imperial Assault or Descent. So you're going to move here. She's going to do a reinforce action there because she already did her heroic action, the reinforce action. She is definitely going to want to take some gear. Let's give her the ability to start battling brigands. So we're going to give her the dusky cloaks to give her +1 stealth advantage. Her natural magic advantage isn't going to do much good for her in this game. So we still have 2 more movement. I'm going to go 1, 2, and we're going to get actually to the guild hall for the Southern Wastes. We're going to drop a skull to show the app that is the end of the orphaned Zion's turn. It's a red skull coming back, and it comes out in our home kingdom. I can put it anywhere I want in my kingdom. I will go put it on the bazaar, not heading that way anytime soon. There are events, so we continue. The event is the Tower Awakens. Grave Maw's dark sorceries warp up its minions. Each foe gains a Venom battle card in their deck, and extra foes will spawn. Continue. So we're getting another brigand. This brigand is going into the Western Kingdom, and it's going to go into Lone Light Hills, right up in there. We're going to hit next. We get another Frost Troll. This Frost Troll is going in the Southern Kingdom, and it's going in the Mountains of the Watchers. Next. Month ended. Continue. Reminder. Resolve any end of month effects from treasures and virtues. We have none. Then resolve any end of month effects from guilds. Then gain 1 influence for each building that has no skulls. There are 2 buildings without skulls. I'm going to add those to our little mat here. It's just the 2 buildings that I just removed skulls from using the Orphan Scion and her generous virtue. Continue. Month 2. Again, 5 months to get this done. Now we have some quests. So we already have our main quest, but there will be 3 additional quests that come out every month, and you have to finish them during the month or they go away. The first possible quest is a companion quest. Vasa has been tending the sick. I can't leave until my work is done. Help her heal them and she will join you. Quest in Anza and spend 2 potions to gain Vasa as a companion. So that's a problem because we can't actually spend potions in the Western Kingdom. So probably not going to get this done. If there's any quest that will not have negative impact for not doing it, it will be this one. But Vasa is pretty cool. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have a change of heart and we'll get Ula just so we can actually get this thing done. Again, I already have 1 potion already. It wouldn't be that hard to get 2. And Vasa could prove useful for sure. So this is going to go in the village. We'll take a look at Vasa's card. Do not spend spirit for glyphs facing you. After you take an action matching a spirit facing you, gain 1 spirit and then you get +2 undead advantages. You know what? Honestly, undead advantages aren't going to help us that much. So probably not even going to try with this one. Continue. Corpse Cloud. Grave Maw's larval maggots infest the land, mutating foes throughout the 4 kingdoms. Soon our foes will emit a stench so foul they can kill. Task. Quest in Mountains of the Watchers and spend 3 potions or foes will gain new deadly battle cards. So that sounds like something we might want to actually do. We'll put that over here. And this is the tower to indicate the adversary quest. Go to next. And recruiting drive. The holy warriors of the Paladin Order battle the undead denizens of the kingdoms. Every few years, their numbers must be replenished. Quest in Greater Tombstones and spend 6 influence to replenish their ranks. We'd have to do that in the Eastern Kingdom, which is over there. Again, at the end of the turn, if we're there, we lose an item. That could be a problem, but sometimes those guild quests are very much worth doing. This is the tower you use for the Alliances expansion to indicate the guild quest, and that's going to go right there. Notice we have 2 skulls in there that are going to be problematic because they're going to make us lose extra influence, and influence is the thing that we need to spend to complete that quest. So we're going to hit continue. Month 2 begins. We go to the next player. The next player is Archright. Archright is going to do her banner action and put a battlement down, put a battlement over here. She has a movement allotment of 3. She's going to double that by spending a spirit. So now she has a move allotment of 6. Archwright's going to move 1, 2. She's going to take her reinforce action in this guild hall. That's going to cost 6 influence. So she moves this from here to there. And now she takes Omar the healer. In each battle, place the first 5 warriors that you lose on this card. At the end of the month, gain all warriors on this card back. +2 humanoid advantages. Welcome to the team, Omar. So she moved 2. She still has 4 more movement. Again, I spent a spirit to double my movement. She's going to move 1, 2, 3. And now she's going to battle this frost troll. She still has 1 movement left after this. So she's going to hit the battle icon. What do I want to battle? We want to battle a frost troll. Frost trolls are a level 3 foe. So we have to randomly pick 3 cards. I'm just going to hit any 3. And now we have to calculate how many advantages we have. I have 2 advantages because I'm on a battlement and with clever. I have 2 humanoid advantages, which is useful against the frost troll because they are still indeed humanoid. They have not been mutated by Grave Maw yet. So with these 4 advantages, the question is, do I want to lose 5 warriors? Honestly, not the worst idea right now because I can just put them on Omar and get them back later. Then I will give you all the other advantages I have left to basically neutralize the other 2 cards coming up. So great. I'm going to lose 5 warriors. Continue. Next card. If you are on or adjacent to a space with at least 1 skull, lose 16 warriors. I am adjacent. That's bad. So I'm going to use an advantage. Lose 8 warriors. I'm going to use another one. I can gain a gear. I would love to gain a gear. What gear do I want to gain? I will get the Dusky Cloaks, and now I have another stealth advantage that I can even use on this turn, but obviously I'm going to be maxed out on the Lex card because I can only use 2 advantages. You'll see that there's a certain number of dots. Once you're at the leftmost dot, you cannot reduce a card anymore, but that leftmost dot often does give you a benefit as opposed to a loss. So we're confirming this. The last card, I can lose 7 warriors and 2 spirit. It's a critical hit. I'm going to spend 2 advantages, and now I lose 3 warriors. I cannot reduce it anymore. That's super bad. Wow. That's really gross. Of course, I picked the wrong card. I only have 2 warriors. So what does that mean? So I lose these 2 warriors, and I take my first corruption. Not great. What's my corruption going to be? Well, the corruption pile is up here. I cannot double my move. You know what? Taking corruption is not the worst thing. Usually take it over the course of the game. Now we're just going to have to make sure we get rid of it. But I just now know that I am feeble for a while. So maybe I should get the trusted maps at some point and just have a base move of 4. I'm going to confirm. I've defeated the Frost Troll. I can remove that token. We get 2 spirit for the heroic action. I already did my reinforce. That was to get Omar. And then I'm going to use my 6th movement to come over here. That is the end of Archwright's turn. Let's go ahead and drop a skull. It's a red skull. It did not come out of the tower, so we're good. By the way, I should discuss this haggle die. The haggle die is something you could roll every time you do a reinforce. The problem with it is that a third of this die says that, oh, actually you can't reinforce now. And there's another face that gives you no benefit at all. So half the time you're not getting a benefit. If you do successfully roll, you get a potion, you can get a gear, and you can get 3 warriors, whatever you rolled. So one of those 3 things in addition to your normal reinforce. But I don't find the haggle die a good strategy for sure. Your reinforced actions are just too important to try to get these little extra benefits. So there is an event, so I'm hitting continue. Move all foes 1 space towards the guild hall in their kingdom. So there is a frost troll here. It's going to move toward the citadel in the western kingdom. We have this frost troll, which is going to move toward the southern waste in this kingdom. We have a brigand who's going to move toward the hissing groves here. And then we have a brigand, which is going to move toward the southern waste here. We defeated the only enemy that was in the northern kingdom. And then we're going to move this brigand toward the 3 rivers there. In this kingdom, he's going to move all the way across and try to get over to 3 rivers. Continue. So it's weird. I mean, if the guild hall could have been like right adjacent to him in a different kingdom, that's not important. New wares. Put any number of treasures from the market on the bottom of the treasure deck, then refill the market. What don't I really want here? I don't really like any of these treasures, to be honest. None of them are going to be useful against Grave Maw, and that is absolutely what I'm trying to build up to be able to defeat. So I'm going to put all 4 of these on the bottom of the treasure deck, get 4 new ones. We have the white cauldron. After you reinforce at a citadel, also gain a potion, +1 undead advantage. We have the amulet of the married. When you cross a river, move to any space adjacent to that river, +2 wild advantages in lakes. We have the lamp of hope. When you cleanse, you can remove skulls from any space, +1 magic advantage. And then the lamp of darkness, spent to remove 1 foe from your space, +1 beast advantage. We're going to hit continue. Rumor, foes swarm to the tower where dark magic warps their very nature. Soon the ritual will be complete. We are putting another brigand on the board. They are going to be placed on the board in the northern kingdom, and they're going to be placed in 5 Pint, which is right down there. Next. And now we go to turn 2, which is going to be the orphaned scion's turn. We're going to get a spirit right off the bat as our banner action. The orphaned scion is really going to try to deal with this influence thing and get rid of that. As much as I write to pound this brigand, I don't think it's going to work. The orphaned scion is going to move 1, 2, 3. Since we entered a place with a purple power skull, we do lose influence. The orphaned scion is going to spend 5 influence as her reinforce action. That's going to give her Emma. Oh, I forgot to do it already. So when I took Omar, I should have gone here and I should have indicated that we have Omar. So I might have missed out on a potential event in between rounds. So that's important to stop forgetting to do for me. And then in the Thieves Guild, we just got Emma as well. The back of Emma, it says that an obstacle is only an obstacle until you move it out of your way. Emma bribes the guilds. She can be really nice to have. On the back of Omar, it says Omar stands at the vow between life and death to pull back those who wish to fight again. Omar highlights dangerous cards in battle. Oh, I was seeing like highlighted stuff. I thought the game was glitching. So Omar is giving me that advantage. So I could actually avoided that critical hit and not gotten the corruption. So yeah, I did hurt myself a lot by not indicating in the app that I have Omar. Fantastic. It's going to be really hard to do what I need to do here as long as these 2 power skulls are making me lose influence. I'm going to cleanse, which allows me to cleanse from an adjacent building as well. That's going to give me 2 more spirit because that was my heroic action. In all games, don't forget your benefits. You make your life harder. I maxed out my movement. I can't move anymore. So we're going to stay there. And remember, at the end of the month, if I'm still there, I just lose an item. So I need to be careful about that. But I'm dropping a skull. It's a purple skull. It does not come out of the tower. We hit continue. A seal is broken. A seal is about to light up to show it should be removed. The seal is going to come from the Eastern Kingdom. And now there is a red skull that fell from there. I'm going to put it over here in this village. It doesn't show a glyph, but it's a dormant kingdom anyway, so glyphs will have no impact. That was a rule I had wrong. Glyphs only affect you if they are shining in your home kingdom, no matter where you are on the board, which is a lot better than how I used to think it was, because I was picking up the tower to try to see all sides of it, and it was super annoying. It's like, what glyphs are over there? Doesn't matter. I actually was like, why does the app not give us a chart with what glyphs are active where? It's like, oh, now I know why, because you were playing the game wrong, Greg. Great. So I'm going to continue. Foe axe, froze strike, move each frost troll to an adjacent space, then place a skull in each building on or adjacent to a frost troll. That's not great. We have 2 frost trolls on the board. So I'll move this frost troll over here. He's going to put a skull here and a skull here. So now I have 3 skulls in that bazaar, which is definitely dangerous. And I'm going to move this frost troll here. It's still only adjacent to the citadel, but it means I need to put a thing there. It's just a regular skull. We're going to continue. It is now turn 3. We go back to Archright. Archright, sick of these frost trolls and all of their nonsense. I do wish we were still in forest, because we could have this absolutely wiped out that frost troll very easily. Archright is going to do a reinforce action in the bazaar and is going to take the trusted maps to give her 4 movement. Now I might consider spending this potion to move the troll, but remember I can't spend potions as long as I'm in this kingdom, and we're still on rank 1 of the arcane scouts. So Archright is going to do her movement. Her movement is now 4. Oh, the banner action, I'm going to move this battlement here. And now Archwright's going to go 1, 2. She has 2 more movement, and we're going to fight this brigand. Fighting a brigand, battle. We only have to pick 2 cards. Remember, don't pick that one. Thanks, Omar. I literally was like, why is the game glitching? Lose 2 warriors for each skull on or adjacent to your space. I have 1, 2 advantages for that, plus humanoid advantages, which are good against the brigands. So I have 4 advantages going in, plus a stealth advantage. So I have 5. Oh, actually, Dusky Cloak did not give me an extra advantage against the Frost Troll. So I don't know what I was thinking. Let me go back and grab the longsword like I originally wanted to. Yeah, stealth doesn't help against anybody but the brigands, which obviously I'm not that worried about them. So that was just last turn when I got the free gear in the battle before I took the corruption. So I'm going to hit this twice because I have 4 advantages. So I might as well just max this out. I gain 3 warriors. I'm going to go to the next card, confirm, and now I can lose a gear 5 warriors. Again, I'm going to spend my last 2 advantages. I have 6 advantages here, actually. 2 because of the battlement, 2 because of the forest, and 2 because of the humanoid thing. I can gain another gear. Don't mind if I do. I will gain the Blessed Scepter. That's good. Confirm. The brigand is removed from the board. We get 2 spirit. Turn this into a 5. Probably want to keep 5 spirit handy. When I get a second corruption, I can go ahead and quick cleanse them both. And I have 2 more movement. I'm just going to stay where I am. So I'm going to drop a skull. So we'll go here. I fell in Northern Kingdom, so I'll put a skull on that sanctuary. Continue. Tower stirs. The tower is about to rotate. Keep your fingers clear. I kind of wish they had that warning once instead of every time the tower rotates. It's a little bit, let's take you out of the immersion. So the tower spins. We'll see if any skulls drop. They don't. We continue. And now we go to turn 4. Beginning of the turn, the Orphan Scion is going to get a spirit. As her heroic action, we need to get a bunch more influence. I need to get 6 influence in time to hopefully be able to do this quest. So we're getting 2 more influence to here. That gives me 2 spirit. And then for my reinforce action, I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to spend a spirit to double my move. So I still have 2 move left. And then I'm going to reinforce at the Citadel. I'm going to spend 5 spirit to get myself a virtue. And I'm going to get infused at the start of your turn. Remove 1 skull from a building in my home kingdom. With so many skulls in my home kingdom right now, I think that makes the most sense. And now I'm going to move the 2 back. 1, 2. End up in lesser tombstones. Now I'm going to drop a skull. Definitely getting close to the end of skulls here. So need to be very careful about that. It's a red skull. It does not fall out. Continue. We have an event. Omar finishes work. The player with Omar gains all the warriors on his card. Archright gets her 5 warriors back. Continue. For each skill with a foe on or adjacent to it, decrease its rank by 1. Well, I can't decrease the rank of the arcane scouts. So that means -2 influence. So basically Archright is going to lose 2 of their 6 influence. So they're now down to 4. There is not a foe adjacent to the Paladin's Order Guild. This goes down, but no heroes are in the Southern Kingdom, so it doesn't affect the heroes, and there's not a foe adjacent to the Thieves Guild. I'm going to continue. Brigand Strike. Each hero loses 1 item if a brigand is on or adjacent to their space. We have a total of 3 brigands in play. There's not a hero adjacent to that one. There's not a hero adjacent to this one, and there's not a hero adjacent to that one, so no effect. Glad we killed the one brigand that we just killed. Continue. And now we go to turn 5. I want to get 3 potions, so hopefully on turn 7 I can take care of this. So I'm going to reinforce at the Citadel and get myself a potion. Top of the deck. Again, I cannot spend them in the Arcane Scouts Kingdom at this point, but I can definitely take them. Well, my banner action, I would have moved this battlement here. I have a bunch of warriors back, so I feel pretty good about that. So I'm going to do a move action. I have 4 movement. I'm moving here. I'm going to fight this Frost Troll. Battle, Frost Troll. Continue. Now, avoid the ones that are highlighted. They're the 2 critical hit ones. 1, 2, 3. What are my advantages? 2 for the battlement, 2 for Omar. So I have 4 advantages total against humanoid and melee. Lose 1 gear or 5 warriors. I will lose the 5 warriors. I put them on Omar. Deja vu. Continue. Now I'm going to spend my 4 advantages. 1, 2. I may gain a gear. Oh, by the way, I did have the Blessed Scepter. So when I reinforce there, the skull comes off of it. I'm going to gain a leather armor. I have 4 of the 6 gear. Confirm. And then next, lose 5 warriors. 1, 2. Gain a potion. Beautiful. I have the 3 potions I need to take care of the adversary quest on my next turn for Archright, assuming I have one this round. I now have defeated this Frost Troll. I get 2 spirit for that. There's only 1 Frost Troll left on the board. Continue. And now we have 3 movement left. I'm going to move 1, 2, and I don't want to necessarily be adjacent to the Frost Troll. I'll just chill right here. I have a corruption to worry about, and then I have the virtues to worry about. So figure out what order I want to do things. So I'm going to drop that. It's a red skull. Does not fall out of the tower. We have an event. The tower stirs. Keep your fingers clear. Tower is done stirring. Seal is broken. The seal is about to light up. It is on neither of my home kingdoms, but I will remove the seal. It makes it easier for things to fall out of the tower. If someone was in the northern kingdom, it would mean that you would have to spend a spirit to do the cleanse action. Emma knows all the trade routes. The player with Emma may spend 1 treasure to upgrade any guild. Do not have a treasure, so I cannot upgrade a guild, although that would have been very nice. So I don't know if I would have spent it anyway. Treasures are hard to get, but it would have been definitely enticing. Foe power increases. The power of the Frost Trolls has increased. They have changed their status from ready to savage. So instead of needing 2 to completely reduce a card down to its lowest effect level, you would need 3 advantages. So the battle cards are more difficult, and you will need more advantages to avoid losses. We go to turn 6. Banner action, so we get a spirit. Remember, I did unlock Infuse. Start of my turn, I can remove a skull from my home kingdom. I'm going to remove this skull from the Citadel. No, I want to get it out of the 3-er. I'll remove the red skull from the Bazaar. Probably grab treasure. So I'm going to move here. I'm going to do my reinforce action. I'm going to spend 2 spirit to get that. And then for my heroic action, I'm going to add 2 more influence to this. So we're up to 5. And I'm going to get 2 spirit as a result of doing my heroic action. I still have 2 movement. We're going to get out of this kingdom because I'm worried about the end of the month effect and just go right here. I'm going to end my turn, dropping a skull. You know what? Strategically, I should have moved here, even though I'm adjacent to the Frost Troll. I would have to risk that. You'll see what I'm going to try to do on my next turn as Archright. Dropping a white skull, stays in the tower. Continue. Tower fortifies the foes in the land. A new critical hit battle card has been added to the decks of the Brigands and the Frost Trolls. Continue. The tower's magic twists the very essence of the Frost Trolls, transforming them from melee to stealth. Stealth is fine. Maybe I wanted those dusky cloaks after all. Foe power increases. The power of the Brigands is increased. They went from ready to savage, and the month is over. Shoot. No. Okay, well, we tried. We didn't even get this done. So bad. All right, resolve any end of month effects. Omar is going to give me my warriors back. There's no end of month effects from guilds. Again, I moved out of there and there on purpose, so I don't have to worry about that. And then we gain 1 influence for each building without a skull on it. So 1, 2, 3, just 3. So we're back to 8. Continue. Quest fail. We did not get Vasa. Vasa loses all hope and flees the 4 kingdoms. The price of failure, we do not gain her as a companion. So we're removing this companion quest off the board. Corpse Cloud. Grave Maw's lava infest foes, giving them the stench of death. The price of failure. A Corpse Cloud battle card has been added to each battle deck. So we're removing this thing because we failed that. Continue. And recruiting drive. Oh, we didn't do any of them. Yikes. The Paladin Order is forced to conscript new initiatives on the 4 kingdoms, and many do not come willingly. The price of failure decreased the Paladin's Order rank by 1. Each player loses 6 warriors. That's really bad. Oversight is down to 1. Archright is down to 2. That was really unfortunate because I had them both lined up. Clearly, gritty difficulty making a pretty big difference there. In non-gritty difficulty, I probably get both of those done. So this comes off. We go to month 3. New quests. Golden pelt. Grigor once possessed a golden pelt that protected him from harm. It is rumored that he lost it during a great battle. If you can recover it, it would be a powerful tool in your fight against the tower. Complete the Cloud Hold Keep dungeon to gain the pelt of the Golden Wolf quest item. Spawn dungeon. It's going to spawn in the Western Kingdom. So we have our dungeons over here. We get this dungeon and we're going to spawn it in Cloud Hold, which is going to go right there. It's a melee, have the long swords. Put this here. And again, it will give us a quest item. Done. Breath of Decay. Grave Maw seeks a beast that dissolves metal with its acidic breath. If Grave Maw finds it first, you will do all of kingdoms with its power. Complete the Crystal Caves dungeon, or foes will gain the Rust Breath battle card for spawning a dungeon in the North Kingdom. Here is the adversary quest, going in Greenbridge, and we're looking for this dungeon. This is a beast dungeon. Beast advantages are important. We do not have many of those at all. Remember, Emma gives me +2. Next, powering ritual. The arcane scouts are working on a ritual to give them the strength to take on the minions of the tower. Assist them and they will let you partake in it. Quest in Anza and spend 16 warriors to help the scouts complete the ritual. Putting this here. Good thing is Anza is a village, so it won't be that hard to get 16 warriors, but again, we just lost 6. I have a potion that will give me 6 warriors, but I cannot spend that potion while I'm in the Kingdom of the Arcane Scouts. We are now going to continue. Month 3 begins. So I'm going to move here. I have to lose a influence. I'm going to spend 5 spirit to get tactical. Oh, banner action. I would have put a battlement thing there. Why there? Wait and see. While on a battlement, you can battle a foe on an adjacent space. So I still have 3 movement left. I did a reinforce action, and because I have the Blessed Scepter, I can remove this skull. I'm going to move back here. For my heroic action, I'm going to battle this Frost Troll, who is on an adjacent space, even though it's across the river. And now we're battling Frost Troll. He's a little tougher, but as far as advantages go, he's humanoid and stealth. It specifically says on tactical, terrain advantages are the space you're on. So I get the 2 advantages because I'm in forest, because I'm the champion of the West. I get 2 wild advantages because I'm on a battlement, and this is still humanoid. So I get 2 advantages there. So I have 6 advantages total over 3 cards battle. I'm going to avoid those cards. Thank you, Omar. It says lose 7 warriors. By the way, while I was in the Citadel, I would have spent this potion. I'm in a kingdom where I could spend it to give me 6 more warriors. That was definitely part of my thinking going in. I do have leather armor, which prevents up to 2 of that. I could just lose 5 warriors and just put them right on Omar. Not the worst idea. And then I'll have the full complement of 6 advantages to completely neuter the next 2 cards. So I like that. So I'm going to use my leather armor, prevent up to 2 of that, and I just lose the 5. I put that on Omar. Confirm. I'm going to use 3 advantages on this card. Lose 1 gear or lose 2 warriors. 3rd advantage, I can gain a gear. Let me gain the Dusky Cloaks. So I have tons of advantages to completely neutralize the next card. Lose 7 warriors. 1, 2, 3. Gain a potion. I get a potion back. It is the Potion of Purifying Breath. Spend to remove up to 2 skulls from any building. So I almost have the full complement of 6 gear. I have 5 of the 6. Continue. Frost Trolls removed, so there are no Frost Trolls left on the board. I get 2 spirit for that heroic action, and I have 2 more movement. Continue. I'm going to move here, just try to reinforce and get a bunch of warriors, and so I can take care of that guild quest. Now, also, I do want to point a clarification. Remember, my terrain advantages wouldn't have mattered here in this kingdom, so I was standing in the Western Kingdom, not in the kingdom with the Druids circle. Bam. Oof. That fell right out. It hit there and bounced over, so it did fall in this kingdom. I'll put this over there on that bazaar. No events. Continue. Banner action for the Orphan Scion. She is going to take a spirit. I think she's going to need to try to deal with these quests, and we'll just let Archright keep doing her thing, taking care of the enemies. Again, the enemies on the board right now are just the 3 brigands. Beginning of my turn, I can remove a skull from a building. I'll remove this skull. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to spend 5 influence to get this other virtue. Plus 1 wild advantage for each building with no skulls on or adjacent to your space. What I haven't done on a heroic action. Before I actually did that, I would have moved here. I would have done my heroic action to cleanse. When I cleanse, because of generous, I cleanse on 2 spaces. Then I would have continued to move. That would give me a decent amount of advantages for that dungeon there for my next turn. After I did the heroic action, I get 2 spirit. End of my turn, let me drop a skull. Stays in the tower. Continue. Events. The tower stirs. Keep your fingers clear. Okay. Omar's finished his work. The player with Omar gains all the warriors on his card. Thank you. Continue. Wolfo is 1 space toward the guild hall in their kingdom. This brigand is already there. This brigand moves here. This brigand is going to move here in with that dungeon. We are spawning another frost troll. They couldn't stay away. This goes in the Northern Kingdom in Upper Ice Fangs. Continue. And now we go to turn 3, which is Archright. Archright can move a battlement up to 2 spaces. Archright will move this battlement 1, 2. Now battlements again are not terrain, so I would get the +2 if I go try to kill that brigand, which is definitely something I want to do. I want to keep these 2 kingdoms clear of enemies. It's just better. That was my banner action. I'm going to do a reinforce action. I'm going to spend 1 spirit in the village to get 12 warriors. I'm glad Omar gave me my warriors back because now I can quest right away. After a reinforce action, because I have the Blessed Scepter, I get to remove a skull. And now I'm going to do my heroic action. I'm going to quest. I'm doing the guild quest, empowering ritual, spending 16 warriors, 1, 2, 3 of the 5ers and the 1er. Hold to complete that. Powering ritual. Magical currents flow through you as the ritual draws to a close. Each hero gains 2 spirit. After doing the heroic action, I also get 2 more spirit as well. 6 total. Continue. Archright can now move. This is done. I think Archright goes to kill the brigand, although I just think we're going to miss out on that adversary quest again. Not great. Archwright's going to move 4, 1, 2, 3. We'll start on this bazaar. That's the end of Archwright's turn. Going to drop a skull. 3rd turn of month 3. It's a purple skull. Stayed in the tower. Continue. Keep your fingers clear. Whoa. Think this dropped out on the right side. That dropped out in the Eastern Kingdom, and this dropped out over here in the North Kingdom. Now, Archright has an interesting virtue that might make sense to get just to kind of do some crazy stuff there, but we'll see. Let me kill the brigand first, and then we'll decide what I want to do with that. Continue. Seal is broken. This is in the Scion's Kingdom, and it's just a skull that falls out, which is not a big deal. I like skulls in my kingdom because I get to remove them beginning of my turn. Emma knows the truth. Player with Emma may spend a treasure to upgrade any guild. I'm going to spend this treasure. It goes on the bottom of the deck, and I'm going to upgrade the Arcane Scouts Guild. It's going to allow me to take Ula as a companion for the Orphan Scion. So she's up to 2 allies. If you influence outside your home kingdom, gain 3 additional influence and +1 wild if you are outside your home kingdom, which the Orphan Scion will naturally be over there. So I like that. So I lost the beast advantage, but I gained a wild advantage as long as I'm not in my home kingdom, which honestly, since I can clear skulls from not in my kingdom, will be pretty easy to do. Continue. Put any number of treasures from the market on the bottom of the treasure deck, then refill the market. Keep the beast advantage there. New treasures. Prevent up to 2 warrior losses per battle card for each other treasure you have, +1 melee advantage, like that. Spear of Atish. When you defeat a melee foe, gain 10 warriors. That's awesome. +1 beast advantage. When you influence, gain an additional 2 influence and also 1 potion. Jeweled Goblet of Uskal. Continue. We have our first dragon. Dragon goes in the Eastern Kingdom. It goes in the Inner King Hills. Yeah, I think the dragon looks cool enough. I'll add the dragon itself as opposed to these little tokens. Turn 4 is the Orphan Scion's turn. Orphan Scion is going to get a spirit. I'm going to change out 5 1s for a 5. Beginning of the turn, I also get to remove a skull. I'm going to remove this red skull. So now the Archon Scouts say I can't spend more than 1 potion a turn. Very few warriors, which has me a little concerned. I'm going to spend 1 spirit to double my move. So my move is now 6. I'm going to move 1, 2. I'm going to spend another spirit. So I have 4 left to get 12 warriors. I have 13 warriors, which makes me feel better about going to this dungeon. 3, 4, 5. Still have 1 movement after this. I'm going to quest in this dungeon. What are my wilds? I have 2 wilds for a monthly quest, so this would count. By the way, Emma is the Grand Merchant. I can reinforce any building as if it were a bazaar. Ula gives me +1 wild advantage since I'm outside my home kingdom, so that's going to give me 3 wild advantages going in. Then I have Anointed, +1 wild advantage for each building when those skulls honor or just your space, so that's 5 advantages. These 2 are clear. Battlement wouldn't matter because there's only +1 wild advantage in battle. I think 5 advantage into the dungeon is going to have to do. Want to get a move on this. So questing in the fortress, 5 advantages. So entrance, a rhythmic din echoes through the halls of this imposing structure. Choose your path. I'm going to go here. No losses. Great. Continue. I'm going to go there. Gain 1 leather armor gear card. Okay, I will. Prevent up to 2 losses per battle card. Not hard so far, which makes me worried. So basically dungeons, you can exit at any time instead of continuing to go. I still have 5 advantages though. And advantages tend to go pretty far in dungeons. So I'm going to spend 1 advantage. I've been losing 3 warriors to gaining 1 leather armor gear card. I already have it, so can't take another one. Continue. 4 advantages left. Here, lose 1 gear. I have 4 advantages left. Honestly, I'm going to lose the leather armor gear card because it seems like I might get another opportunity to get one back. Continue. I'm going to go there, lose a gear. I'm going to use an advantage, gain 2 warriors. 3 advantages left. Continue. I'm going to go there. So there's really no options. All right, lose 1 spirit. Fine. 3 advantages left. Lose 2 items. I'm going to upgrade that. I can get the longsword's gear card. Yes, please. This gives me a melee advantage. So I spent 3 advantages and now I still have 3 left because this gives me an advantage that I can use in this very dungeon. Continue. We did it. Upon an altar lies the golden pelt. Done. Did a heroic action. I get 2 spirit, gain the golden pelt quest items. The quest items are in a different deck. So I'm going to go in here, golden pelt, prevent up to 6 losses per battle card. That's crazy. So prevent up to 6 warrior losses per battle card. It could be really, really strong. And we did the companion quest. I have 1 more movement. I will go here. Continue. I'm going to drop a skull. Came out over here. The Northern Kingdom is loaded with skulls. Event. Spawning a brigand in the Northern Kingdom in 5 pint. There. Continue. And that's it. Turn 5. Back to Archright. Archwright's going to move this battlement here. Archwright's going to do a reinforced action by spending 2 spirit. Brigands are humanoid and stealth still. Make sure they weren't changed by Grave Maw. We're going to get the spear. It's not going to really help me in this battle, but good to have some beast things. After I reinforce, I can remove a skull, and we have 4 movement. So 1, 2. Battlement's going to give me +2. Or actually, I can fight in an adjacent space. I'll just go here. It's shorter. So I have 2 movement left after this. Instead of moving it into there, I can move it here. So I have +2 from that. Again, there is no terrain here, so I don't have any advantage there. Do have the Dusky Cloak. So I have a total of 2 from the battlement, 1 from the Dusky Cloak, so that's 3 wilds. By the way, so the next treasure is the Mara's Teeth. When you cleanse power skulls, remove them from the game and add a regular skull to the bag for each power skull you removed. It's really strong in the right game, especially if they're a green. Well, I think 3 wilds is going to have to be enough. No, never mind. I have 5 because this dude's humanoid as well. My bad. Yeah, and I still have Omar. 5 advantages, battling the brigand, trying to clean out these 2 kingdoms. I'm avoiding those cards. There's an Omar. Lose 25 warriors. Nope. 1. Oh, it's locked. Wow, the corpse cloud. Yeah, that's what happens against Grave Maw. Shoot. I can put these 4 here. So Omar doesn't warn me about that, apparently. I put these on Omar's card because he's a healer. I do have to take a corruption. Uh-oh. After I reinforce the bazaar, I lose a spirit. Please do not kill me here. Lose 2 potions. Oh, better. So I'm going to spend 3 advantages, gain 3 warriors. Now it definitely is high priority to get to a sanctuary to get rid of these 2 corruptions. That was my heroic action. I'm going to go ahead and get 2 spirit. This brigand is removed. Continue. And I have 2 more movement. Oh, actually 3 more movement because don't forget I do have my trusted maps. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, it's not a melee foe, so I don't get in the 10 warriors. Losing 25 warriors locked right at the bat is not great. Omar, you're supposed to warn me about these things. Events. A seal is about to light up. What's going to be revealed? Archwright's Kingdom. It is not a glyph. It is a skull. We will put this on Citadel. Again, it doesn't affect me while I'm there when I start, but if I moved it there, I would lose 4 warriors. For each skill with a foe on or adjacent to it, decrease its rank by 1. Only applies to the Paladin's Order, and that's already decreased down to its minimum, and there are no heroes there, so no one has to lose 2 spirit. The tower fortifies the foes in the land. The new critical hit battle card has been added to the decks of the Brigands, Frost Trolls, and Dragons. Frost Trolls strike. Move each Frost Troll to an adjacent space, then place 2 skulls on each building on or adjacent to a Frost Troll. Well, I think we're losing some buildings in the Northern Kingdom, kids. Yeah, there's 1 Frost Troll. Bye-bye Paladin's Order Guildhall 2, which is super unfortunate. The Frost Trolls are going to move here. The only building is adjacent to, so it's supposed to do 2 skulls here. The 3rd one goes there. The 4th one would destroy it and then goes back in the bag. These 3 skulls and this building come out of the game. If that was anyone's kingdom, the person whose kingdom it was would take a corruption. It is not either of my heroes' kingdoms. I did have my eyes on that ally, and that's just not happening now. So the Northern Kingdom is just a mess right now, which is not great, but we shall overcome, I think. Next, turn 6. Beginning of the Orphan Scion's turn, she's going to get a spirit. We're going to remove a skull at the beginning of her turn because of infused. Don't think I can pull that cave off. I'm going to do a reinforce action, get my last virtue. Then I'm going to spend a spirit to double my move. My move is 6. Going 1, 2, 3. Cleansing. When I cleanse there, I cleanse from another place. And I'll cleanse from here. I get 2 spirit for my heroic action. Then we're moving back to here. 1, 2, and 3. Do have my eye on Barat. Could be really strong. Also could be very strong for Archright. I think I'm giving up in that cave. 2 turns in a row, I'm just giving up in the adversary quest. Dropping a skull. Remember, there's 3 skulls less, and of course they were the 3 white ones, so we're down to 21 skulls left in the game. It's here. That comes out there. Events. Keep your fingers clear. Wow. So this fell. This kingdom. This fell. In this kingdom. This fell. That kingdom. Did just go there. Clean that off. Fine. Foe axe, dragon strike. Each hero with a dragon in their kingdom loses a treasure. The heroes are not in the kingdom with the dragon. Definitely do not want to end there at all. Month ended. Resolve any end of month effects. The 4 warriors on Omar's card come off. Change 5 of these up for a 5er. Any end of month effects otherwise. Nope. Oh, I never grabbed Ula. Urgh. Shoot. Quest failed. So Grave Maw makes everyone things worse. The Grave Maw finds the Rust Beast and learns how to give its powers to all foes. A Rest Breath battle card has been added to each foe deck. Continue. Month 4. New quests. Recruit Zaida. A vision of Zaida appears in your campfire. From ancient empires, new fires can blaze. Somehow you understand. Do what they ask and they will join you. Quest in Howling Desert in the South Kingdom and spend 3 items to gain Zaida as a companion. The Southern Kingdom is here. Howling Desert. We'll put this quest here. What does she do? Or they do? I don't know. One of those. Zaida, spend 1 treasure to gain 3 wild advantages. You can do this once per turn. She gives treasures. Continue. Undeath magic. Grave Maw seeks to give foes the ability to avoid death in battle. You must counter her twisted manipulations. Quest in Askel's Banes to spend 4 spirit or foes will gain the resurrection battle card. Well, that sounds just bad. So we're going to put this here. I will try to do that. This dungeon comes off the map. Continue. Ritual of Serenity. The Druid Circle trains initiates to find calm in the chaos. They offer to show you their ways. Quest in Dewani and spend 3 beast advantages to find inner peace. Dewani is in the Eastern Kingdom here. So I don't hate it. Continue. Month 4 begins. Do need to add this guild, so I need to add Ula from the Arcane Scouts. Definitely lost out on some spirit as a result of not having her in play. Super frustrating. I'm probably better off doing the companion quest with Archright. She has so many items. Everything's an item. Potions are items, treasure are items, gear is items. Very flexible. I can do the adversary quest with the Orphan Scion. The Wani thing is going to be a little bit more interesting. I really want to get rid of my corruptions. When I battle as Archright, I have to spend a spirit now. There's a glyph facing Archright's kingdom. Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, you know, I never gained influence. I should gain 1 influence for every structure that doesn't have any skulls on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 influence. Up to 14 here. Not being able to double my movement. Really problematic. We're going to go 1, 2. I'm going to spend 3 items. Spend the potion of 1,000 strides. I'm not in the Arcane Scouts Kingdom anymore, so I can spend more than 1 potion a turn. Spend the potion of Siren's Song. I could have moved the battlement on my turn. I'll move this battlement too as my banner action. These are 2 items. I'm just going to spend all 3 of these potions. Potion of Purifying Breath's nice, but I'm going to spend those 3 items, which means I can do the companion quest, which means I'm going to get hopefully a bunch of treasures. Going there. Oh, wait, before I spend those, I haven't done a reinforce action yet. So I was here to start. I'm going to go 1, spend a spirit to get 12 more warriors. And then I'm going to go 2, 3. Now I'm going to spend the 3 potions and we're going to get our new companion here. Pull to complete. We get Zaida. Zaida emerges from the cooling ash. New embers rekindle dead hearts. Let us rise together. Gain Zaida as a companion. So this is the 2nd companion for Archright. So my treasure can get through all the advantages. These treasure slots are nice, but it's not very realistic. This game just takes up too much real estate. I'm going to gain 2 spirit for doing that heroic action. Hopefully I don't get a corruption, so then I can go ahead and get rid of my 2 corruptions without losing the game. Continue. I do have 1 more movement. So I'll head over toward the sanctuary. End of turn. I'm going to drop a skull that literally went through. It came right out into the Orphan Scion's kingdom, which is fine. Continue. Tower is about to stir. Keep your fingers clear. Continue. Seal is broken. It is on Archright's kingdom. It is a glyph. When Archright does the reinforce action, they will lose another spirit. Not great. Continue. Foes swarm the tower, where dark magic warps their very nature. Soon the ritual will be complete. Brigand strike. Each hero loses one item if there's a brigand in their current kingdom. There are none. We have sequestered them to other places. There's 3 on the board, and there's 1 in the East Kingdom and 2 in the Northern Kingdom. Continue. The power of the Frost Rolls has increased. They've changed their status from savage to lethal. Continue. And now we go to Science turn. She's going to take that. She's going to remove a skull. To get a battle action. She took a spirit. Not much for Orphan Science to do right now. A little dangerous for her to go against the last Frost Troll right now. She's going to reinforce, spending 5 influence. We have 9 left, getting Barat. So this is her 3rd ally. We cannot get any more guild allies. If we would, we have to give one away. Make sure I put Barat in here. +1 wild advantage outside your home kingdom. +2 wild advantages in dungeons. When you would gain a gear, you can spend 1 spirit to gain the top card of the treasure deck instead. Now, after I reinforce, I gain a potion that would include this turn. So we give another potion. It's spend to remove any foe up to 2 spaces. I'm going to spend a spirit to double my move. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I lose 4 warriors for entering that space. I'm going to do a cleanse action. I remove these 2 and I remove any one from anywhere else. I'm going to remove from here. 2 spirit for that. And I have 3 more move back. 1, 2, 3. That's my turn. Back, dropping a skull. Again, this is turn 2. So I do really need to think about doing this main quest now that my characters are decently beefed up. The primary importance now is obviously to clear the corruptions from Archright. This goes here. That came out in my kingdom, which is fine. When I say my, I mean the Orphan Scion. We have events. Emma knows all the trade routes. The player with Emma may spend 1 treasure to upgrade any guild. Cannot do it. Continue. Move all foes 1 space for the guild in their kingdom. So the brigands are going to keep their trek across the board. They go there. There is no guild in this kingdom. And the dragon there. Oh, this must have fallen out before. Here. Not sure where it fell, but it's somewhat random, so I'll assume it was in that kingdom. Can't always see everything as you're playing this game. There's a big freaking tower in the way. And I think since the guild hall's gone, I'm assuming it's just not there, so just things are not going to move. If the guild hall's destroyed, I would still assume they move toward that space, but someone can check if there's been a FAQ on that. That's weird that the rulebook basically makes no reference to that at all. That was the end of the science turn. We go to Archright. Archright will move a battlement, moving it right along. And then Archright is going to do a move of 4 going there. Going to do a reinforce action. Reinforce cost me an extra spirit because of the glyph. For 6 spirit, I have done this reinforce and I get rid of both of my corruptions. They go on the bottom of the corruption deck. Put my allies there. I still have 3 movement. I have to do a heroic action. I'm going to go 1, 2. We're going to cleanse these 2 just to get 2 spirit and then move back 1. And hopefully the dragon event doesn't trigger. Do want to get over there. Have 3 beast advantages. Really would like one of my virtues, but obviously I can't do that. I don't have enough spirit for that. And having to spend a spirit every time I reinforce is going to get old really quick. So this is turn 3 of month 4, dropping a skull. Events, don't be a dragon event. Keep your fingers clear. Dropped a skull in the North Kingdom. There, done. Seal is broken. So reinforce went away. Oh, okay. No more glyphs, which is going to be good for Archright. Don't be a dragon event. The brigands went from savage to lethal. So again, still 2 cards, but now you can spend 4 advantages on each card. The power of the dragons went from ready to savage. So 3 advantages on 4 cards and nothing else. Orphan Science going to go. I'm going to get a spirit as a banner action, and then I'm going to remove a skull because of my virtue. I'm going to spend this potion of Siren Song, to move a foe 2 spaces, getting that dragon out of the Thieves Guild Kingdom, and it's going 1, 2. Again, just make the North Kingdom utter crap. 3 move. I'm going to double my movement to get 6 move. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get a gear. I'm going to get the leather armor. Now I can prevent 8 losses per card. That's pretty strong. Now I could have spent another spirit to get a treasure. I want to be able to do that and then do the adversary quest. Oh, you know what? Forget that. I'm not going to do the upgrade first. So I did double my movement. So I went 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the adversary quest now. Spending 4 spirit, but I'm going to get 2 back because this is my heroic action. You thwart Grave Maw's designs. Foes do not gain the resurrection battle card, so that's important. And now I have 3 more movement. I'm going to move here, but instead of getting a gear, I'm going to use Barat's ability. I'm going to spend 1 spirit to get the top card of the treasure deck. Is the Axe of Soul Rending. When you defeat a magic foe, gain 1 additional spirit, +1 humanoid advantage. Not great, but with Emma, having a treasure that I don't love isn't the worst thing ever. Continue. I have 2 more movement. Let me get over to this village. Definitely want more warriors. What's our main goal? 1 of each advantage. Again, there are 6 types of advantages. So melee, magic, humanoid, undead, and beast. So I have melee, stealth, humanoid. Outside my kingdom, it would be I get a wild there. I have humanoid, stealth, melee, beast, and I could get magic. I can get the brass talisman. Then I would just need a wild. Yeah, I'm pretty close with both of my heroes. So definitely something I want to get done next month, if not this month. That's the end of my turn. I'm going to drop a skull. This is turn 4 of month 4. So regular skull fell out over here in the Archrights Kingdom. As long as that's clear, I get a wild advantage there with anointed. So yeah, if I get the talisman, I will actually have 6. Omar finished his work. There were no warriors on him, so we don't have to worry about that. Later draws forth a powerful artifact from another round. The player with Zaida may gain the top card of the treasure deck. This goes to Archright. It is the Druid's Incense. At the end of the month, choose 1 building for each range of the Druid's circle. Remove 1 skill from each of those buildings. +1 wild advantage in the kingdom with the Druid's circle. Not great. So I could actually spend that treasure along with Zaida to get 3 wild advantages. Definitely shaping up for Archright to be the battler here. Continue. We get a new Frost Troll, and that goes in the Northern Kingdom, which is fine. It's already garbage. It goes into the Peaks of Jin, right next to a friendly dragon. Next, turn 5, Archright. Want to move this battlement. Defeat the Brigand. I think I do. I can actually do that with Orphan Science. Let me kill the Brigand, and I'll clear out this kingdom too. Archright is going to go 1, 2, 3. She has 4 movement. I can start doubling my movement again. Don't forget. Going to do a reinforce action. Going to spend a spirit to get 12. Load up with warriors. Again, there are no glyphs anymore, so I don't have to worry about that. After I do the reinforce action, because of the Blessed Scepter, I can remove the skull. We're going to battle the Brigand. The Brigand is humanoid and stealth. I have 2 humanoid advantages. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to battlement. So 4, 5. 5's pretty good against a level 2 foe. So yeah, 1, 2 humanoid. 3, 4 for the battlement. 5 because of the dusky cloaks. So 2 cards. Avoid the critical ones. Lose 10 warriors. I'm going to spend 2 advantages, lose 5 warriors. I'm just going to put that on Omar's card. Confirm. Oh, it's freaking locked. It's locked because of Venom. Whatever. So lose 2 spirit. I have it. Lose 10 warriors and lose 1 item. I will lose Dusky Cloaks because they're not going to be useful against the main adversary anyway, and I'm getting to that point in the game. So we have done that. Did not take a corruption. We remove this guy. We get 2 spirit for doing the heroic action. Continue. That was 3 movement. I have 1 movement left. I will stay there because I think I'm just going to want to keep loading up on warriors. Dropping a skull. It's a white skull. It stays in the tower. Continue. For each skill with a foe honor adjacent to it, decreases rank by 1. Only applies to the Northern Kingdom. Continue. We spawn a dragon in the east. I just moved your brother to the other place. So in the lesser tombstones. Next, turn 6. We've had 6 turns every round. I really don't want to end there and have to lose items. I think I'm going to risk it. Definitely want to get that guild quest done. We're going to get spirit because Orphan Science banner action. I'm going to take a skull away because of anointed. I'm going to spend the spirit I just got to double my movement so I can move 6. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to reinforce there. Let me get the brass talisman so I can load up with 1 advantage of every type. And then 4, 5, I have 2 wild advantages for completing a monthly quest, plus 1 wild advantage for being outside my home kingdom. So I have the advantages I need. I'm going to do this guild quest, spending 3 beast advantages. Again, I'm spending them. I have them. I mean, that's especially useful if you have like things that you have to throw away to spend. If there's a potion that does that. Again, already I could spend a treasure to get 3 wilds. Ritual Serenity, gain 1 virtue or gain the top card of the treasure deck. The Druid's Ritual soothes your soul. Top card of the treasure deck is when you reinforce or increase the rank of a guild. Spend 2 less influence. So I have a couple of things I'd be happy to throw away with Emma. This is done. I get 2 spirit for doing my heroic action. 1 more move, chill there and hang with my girl, the Archright. Continue. Did all the quests. I think we're in a decent spot. Dropping this skull. Came out in the Archrights Kingdom. Let's just a regular skull. Keep your fingers clear. Oh no. Oh no. Archright just got glyphed. Ula and Bodils, those who journey far and wide. Each hero outside their home kingdom gains 1 spirit. 1 spirit, 1 spirit. So what I'm saying about Archright getting glyphed. So the glyphs on this side, we have quest, we have battle, and we have reinforce. Any of those things cost an extra spirit. So that would have been really helpful if we had Yana earlier. New wares, put any number of treasures from the market on the bottom of the treasure deck, then refill the market. Melee and beast are good. So now we have the diadem of the emissary, +1 humanoid advantage. You can reinforce in any building to increase the rank of that guild. Robes of the last sultan, spend 3 influence to remove 1 foe from your space. Oh, that's awesome. That dragon is very much scaring me. Continue. Tower fortifies the foes in the land. A new critical hit battle card has been added to the decks of the brigands, frost trolls, and dragons. Tower's magic twists the very essence of the dragons, transforming them from melee to stealth. We spawn a new brigand in the north. They go to Greenbridge. Already have friends there. And we go to month 4, turn 7. I think I just have to get rid of this dragon. I'm going to move 1, 2. Move is 4. I'm going to reinforce. Reinforce is going to cost me 1 spirit. On my banner action, I would have moved this here. So I'm going to spend 3 spirit to reinforce because I'm spending 2 spirit to buy a treasure. I'm going to buy the robes of the last sultan. Give me another treasure. I have 2 more movement. Again, 3 movement base plus the 1 movement because of the trusted maps. I'm going to move 3. I'm going to spend 3 influence to remove the foe from my space. So I removed this foe. Bye-bye dragon. That was too easy, but I feel good about that. So when you remove a foe that way, it tells me I have 3 brigands in play, which I knew. I have 2 frost trolls in play, which I knew, and there's 2 dragons in play. To remove a foe, I need to hold that. 1 foe is gone, and now there's 1 dragon in play. Don't forget to do that. It's easy to forget. Done it. So it was 1, 2, 3. While I was here, just because I needed to do a heroic action just to get some spirit back, I would have just done an influence action to get 2 influence, and that would give me 2 spirit. And then I moved here, and then I'm going to move 4 to get out of that kingdom because I don't want to have to lose an item if the month ends now. Probably will. So I'm going to drop a skull. It's a white skull. We have events. Frost Troll Strike. Move each Frost Troll to an adjacent space, then destroy each building on or adjacent to a Frost Troll space. There are 2 Frost Trolls. I'm going to move the 1 troll here. There are no buildings on or adjacent. I'm going to move the tower, and I'm going to move this one here. There are no buildings on or adjacent. Again, it's a dormant kingdom anyway. Month ended. End of the month, Orphan Scion does need to lose an item. Oof. I'm going to lose the Ring of the Emissary. By the way, this should have been replaced. So +1 wild advantage for each other treasure you have. Oh, there we go. That's huge for Archright because Archright already has 3. Getting a 4th is pretty awesome. And then Archright could be the main battler against Grave Maw here. Any other end of month events, the warriors on Omar go to Archright. And then we get 1 influence for each building without any skulls on it. So 1, 2, +4, +3, 9 influence. So we have 17 influence over here. Continue. No other end of month events. Continue. New quests. Recruit Yana. Yana can give you +2 wild advantages versus the adversary. Gain no more than 1 corruption when you battle a level 2, 3, or 4 foe. Yana sees the desperation across the 4 kingdoms. Seems like a good time to raise her fee. Meet it, and she'll be happy to lend you her skills to the effort. Quest in Dayside and spend 3 gear to gain Yana as a companion. Fortunately, Dayside is in the Kingdom of the Bad. So we're going to put this over here and maybe, I don't know, man. That's going to be tough. Gonna be tough to get over there and take care of that. Venomous. Grave Maw's harvesting poison to imbue foes with venom. You must destroy the supply of poison. Quest in Weeping Waters and spend 4 magic advantages or foes will gain the venomous battle card. Probably just going to try to go against Grave Maw right now. Don't think I'm going to be doing this either. This goes in the Western Kingdom in Weeping Waters. At least it's somewhere where I can potentially do it. And Guild Quest, Whelm of Nature, the Druid Circle has a holistic worldview. Neither mere force nor magic will stop the threat from the tower. They ask for help from around the realm. Quest in the Mountains of the Watchers and spend 3 spirit and 1 potion to join the Forces of Light. Also in a place where I can potentially do it, so that does give me some interest, although I do not have any potions. Continue. Month 5. So it's Orphan Scion's turn. So even though Orphan Scion had gone first every other month, this turn, the Orphan Scion's going to go. So Orphan Scion's going to do this. There are no skulls in her kingdom to remove, but her banner action still triggers. Oof. The glyphs are still killing Archright over here. Oh, this could have triggered 2. At the end of the month, choose 1 building for each rank of the Druid Circle. Druid Circle's at 1. I can remove a skull from each of those buildings. So if Druid Circle's rank 1, I'll remove this skull from this building. Humanoid magic, melee, stealth, wild, and I'll have a wild because I'm adjacent to that. Let me get this thing moving. I'm going to spend a spirit to reinforce to get 12 warriors. Spend a spirit to double my move. So I'm down to 3 and I'm moving 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm in the main quest. Again, I have a magic advantage, a melee advantage, a stealth advantage, a humanoid advantage, 1 wild advantage because of building on an adjacent space without any skulls, and 1 wild advantage because I'm outside my kingdom. So I have 1 of each advantage. I'm going to go to the main goal. I'm going to spend those advantages. I hold to complete. And we've done it. Thank you. My first defeat, and amazingly, I feel relief. Let us do what must be done. You can see the fury in Grigor's eyes as he turns his gaze to the tower. Grave Maw emerges. It writhes and slithers across the land. Its thick hide glistens with mucus in unison. Its 3 massive maws snarl and snap. Continue. Grave Maw is spawning in the North Kingdom over in the peaks of the Jinn. No, I don't want you over there. That's clearly different than the dragon, so I'll put that out. The Peaks of the Jinn is very crowded. The good news is that I can put the battlement there. Bad news is no forest there. If I can war in an adjacent space. Grave Maw is on the battlefield. Next, when you battle the adversary, you must resolve at least 1 card. After that, you can choose to retreat or continue to the next card. Improvements to their cards from advantages remain for future battles. I get 2 spirit because that was my heroic action, and I get to drop a skull. Please come out in my kingdom. Nope, it stays in the tower. Events. The tower stirs. The tower is about to rotate. Keep your fingers clear. Nice. Put them all in my kingdom. 1 and 2. Continue. All the glyphs went away on Archwright's kingdom, which is great. We have 1 glyph on my kingdom, so if the orphan scion battles, she has to spend an extra spirit. Not a big deal. A seal is about to light up. It is in a dormant kingdom. I'll switch this over. It is not a glyph anyway. It is just another path for skulls to fall. Awesome. Continue. Foe axe, dragon strikes. Each hero with a dragon in their kingdom loses a treasure. Doesn't apply. We're not in the North Kingdom. Turn 2. Archwright. I'm going to do my banner action and move this here. Archwright is going to move here. He's going to spend 2 spirit to get this treasure. And now I have my max of 4 treasures, crystal blade, plus 1 wild advantage for each other treasure you have. I had 4 movement because of the trusted maps. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Battling Grave Maw from an adjacent space, which is fantastic. I have 1 wild advantage for each other treasure I have that's not the crystal blade. So 1, 2, 3. I have a beast advantage, so that's 4. I have a melee advantage, so that's 5. I have 2 advantages. I'm standing on my battlement, so that's 6, 7. And I have 1 advantage because of innovative. That gives me 8. Great. I can definitely knock out 2 cards. So I'm going to fighting Grave Maw. Continue. Omar tells me don't choose that card. Great. I choose 5 cards. The first one says lose 15 warriors for each foe in your current kingdom. Well, there are none, but I'm still going to exhaust this card. 1, 2, 3, and 4. No losses. Confirm. Next, lose 5 items. 1, 2, 3, and 4. No losses. Confirm. I'm now retreating. This is how I play the final adversary. I find this way more interesting. Grave Maw moves. Grave Maw comes over to the Indran Forest, which is beautiful because guess who's standing right nearby? That is right. So I spent 8 advantages. You're maxed out at 10 every battle, but that was a very effective turn. And now we can go next. I'm going to drop a skull, dropping this. It comes out over here on Archwright's kingdom, and we have events. Omar finishes work. The player with Omar gains all the warriors on his card. Oh, by the way, I gained 2 spirit because I battled, and that was my heroic action. I ran into one of the servants of the tower. They were no match for me. Remove a foe token from the board. Dragon. Yeah, Grigor. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, I should have gained Grigor. Pretty sure I gained Grigor. Grigor has this thing where I can spend spirit to gain 1 wild advantage. I can do that 3 times per turn, and I have plus 2 melee advantages. This is my 4th ally for the Orphan Scion. You see how easy it is to get a ton of allies in the alliances when things are really grooving. I mean, we could just load it up on guild allies, and it just becomes kind of silly to have 17 allies. Move all foes 1 space toward the guild in their kingdom. So Grave Maw is a foe. He moves. The rest of these guys are all just going to come and chill here. It's just a little party over on what was left of that guild hall. Brigand Strike. Each hero loses 1 item. So that's each hero everywhere. I'm going to lose the Brass Talisman from the Orphan Scion, and I'm going to lose Blessed Scepter from Archwright. Continue. Turn 3. Orphan Scion gets a spirit and can remove that skull. Orphan Scion has 2 melee advantages, 3, 4 advantages plus I remove that. So yeah, 2 wilds. I definitely have 4 advantages. I'll just knock out 1 card. I think that makes some sense. So Orphan Scion's going to spend this, double move. 1, 2, 3. Spend this to get 12 warriors. 4, 5 has 1 move left. We're going to battle since the glyph is on my kingdom. It's going to cost me another spirit. We're battling Grave Maw. Next, Omar, I guess, warns for everybody. What a guy, Omar. You're the best. This, and this. First card, lose 5 items. I'm going to spend 4 advantages. No losses. Confirm. And then we're going to retreat. I get my 2 spirit. And Grave Maw is going to move to the Eastern Kingdom into the Forest of Shades. Don't hate that at all. Absolutely annihilated by Archright over there. Next, dropping a skull. This comes out in Archright's Kingdom. Events continue. Ula emboldens those who journey far and wide. All heroes outside their kingdom gain a spirit. Continue. Grave Maw rides in anger, destroy a building in its current kingdom. It is a dormant kingdom. I will destroy this village without any skulls on it, and that's fine. If this belonged to anybody, the hero whose kingdom it was would take a corruption. Frost Troll Strike. Move each Frost Troll to an adjacent space, then destroy each building on or adjacent to 1 Frost Troll. Frost Trolls will both move there. Continue, and now we go to turn 4. Archway is going to move this battlement here as a banner action. Archway's going to then move. Actually, Archway doesn't even need to move because we still have the 8 advantages that we counted last time. The math hasn't changed. Archway is going to battling Grave Maw, battle. We're going to pull 5 cards, and we have our 8 advantages. Loot 30 warriors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Confirm. Next. No losses. Great. Confirm. Next. 50 warriors. 1, 2, 3, 4. No losses. Confirm. And I'm going to retreat. So now we have 5 cards in there that have like nothing going on with them, which is amazing. So retreat. Grave Maw is going to move somewhere, going to move to Middle Sister. Remember, terrain doesn't exist here. Does exist there. Next. Archwright's going to move 1, 2, 3 and do a reinforce action. Let's upgrade this guild and get ally. Not really going to help, but at least if I am the month there, I won't have to lose an item. So I'm going to go here and we're going to add Lucas. Done. Drop a skull. Comes out on Archwright's Kingdom. Continue. Any number of treasures from the market at the bottom. It's fine. I'll take these 2 out. 1, 2. Spend this again for melee advantages. It's very nice. Continue. We spawn a dragon in the Eastern Kingdom in the Lesser Tombstones. Next, turn 5. Orphan Scion's going to get a spirit, going to remove a skull, going to spend a spirit to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going to spend 2 spirit to gain the scroll of the Great Serpent. Place that. It's replaced with a scroll of the Twilight Shadow. 6, spending another spirit to battle. Battling Grave Maw. I have 1 melee advantage. I can spend this for 4 more. There's 2 buildings there, so I have 2 wilds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can spend this for 9. So I have 8. So this should be it. Battle Grave Maw. Pulling 5. Thank you, Omar. Don't pull that card. It's bad. No losses. Confirm. Next. 50 warriors. Spending 4 advantages. Confirm. Next. No losses. Confirm. Next. No losses. Confirm. Next. Lose 30 warriors. I'm going to spend the scroll of the Great Serpent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Confirm. Next. Booyah! The tower is defeated. Congratulations. You have defeated the adversary and its minions. The 4 kingdoms rejoice, and word of your deed quickly spreads across the land. The evil of the Dark Tower once again lays dormant. For now. Dun dun dun. And we'll view stats. My time's gonna be crazy because filming stuff always takes a lot longer. Yeah, 168 minutes. That's way longer than the game would normally take. Defeated 8 foes. We got through 1 dungeon, 54 advantages. And I just find that a much more satisfying victory than 3 cards, 2 corruptions, and over. I mean, it's just different, right? It's a different way to approach the game. I kind of like the chessiness. I kind of like seeing where the adversary goes. I don't like the fact that he just becomes the same as any other foe in a sense. I really think he should have been a much more prolonged boss battle kind of thing. So maybe I'm just into boss battlers, which is another reason I'm really psyched for Primal. So that was that. I would love to know some thoughts. What do you think? Definitely wasn't absolutely positive I got Grigor. I think I was supposed to, so that's why I hedged a little bit on the orphan science turns. I didn't want to spend advantages I really didn't have. 4 battles against the final boss I think is totally appropriate. I think the timing's always good to wait until a new month and then do it, and then you just wipe it out all in 1 month, and you don't have to worry about the badness of not doing the quests and whatnot. And things just really kind of came together. This game is a bit easier at 2 heroes than it would be, but I find playing the way I've been playing, this is a hard challenge, and Grave Maw can really mess with you. I had those 2 corruptions on Archright early. I mean, things could have definitely gone bad. I do find some of the losses very sudden, and it's like, things were going great. What happened? Because it can happen quick. I mean, if you take on a level 4 adversary when you're being a little ambitious, all of a sudden you could turn a win into a loss real quick. You do need to be very careful in the risks that you take, and I think that's kind of cool. It's a different kind of experience. There's a lot I like about this game. The tower is very, very cool. It is an eye catcher. My friends have liked the game. To be honest, none of them have super loved it. And I think that is because my friends tend to play some weightier games. I mean, this is an Arkham LCG crowd. This is a Descent Legends of the Dark crowd. I mean, this is a Mage Knight crowd. This is a Spirit Island crowd. You know, you put this on the table, it's interesting. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's not exactly like Cthulhu Death May Die, Beer and Pretzels. There's definitely more to it, but it's also not exactly, you know, an absolute brain burner. And I think there's going to be a time where I'm going to be ready to move on from this game and just pass it on to someone else who will enjoy it more. But I've really liked exploring it. There are definitely a few adversaries I have not gotten to yet, which is crazy because, you know, I just kind of stick with the random. I played ESO like one of my earliest games and just didn't really know what was going on. I don't think I've faced a Tuku, and I definitely have not faced Astrider yet. Empress of Shades, when I first got this game, she was coming up all the friggin' time. I got really sick of her. The other thing that was coming up a lot was that tree thing. I've kind of played that enough. I'm kind of done with it for now. I will definitely just choose different goals. Grigor's gold is ridiculous. I mean, Grigor as an addition, it's just like, again, this game's hard early, but late game, it's unbelievable. Like some of the stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, he just took a dragon off the board for you. Nah, no biggie. And it's like, maybe that's a little too strong. I don't know. So I was listening to the Kindred Spirit podcast about Spirit Island, and like one of the main advisors working with Eric Royce was like, you know, part of the art of game design is making games that are broken to the player's favor, but doing it in a way that's subtle enough that the player doesn't realize that it's broken. And I feel like sometimes this game is broken in a way that you're like, oh, that's broken. I mean, does Grigor really need to just remove a dragon, right? Like, do I really need a treasure that just allows me to remove a dragon for 3 influence? Like, what is that? Like, why is it not 13 influence, like 15 influence? And I guess there's an opportunity cost. It's not doing anything else, so you're really just getting this treasure for that ability. But that was really nuts. I mean, as it is, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, the dragon event triggered one more time, so I would have had to throw away a treasure. I had the treasures to throw away. I mean, this humanoid advantage wasn't doing anything for me. I definitely had the advantages when I was the Archright, so you know, that didn't matter all that much. I do like the Archetypes mechanics a lot. The battlement thing is very fun, you know, and I think the biggest thing that we were able to do well was to get the Frost Trolls off the board early, really cleaned out these 2 kingdoms, pushed everything over there. And with things that were going to crap over there, it's like it didn't matter. I would love to know some clarification on the movement. I do find it interesting that once one building's destroyed, it's like, all right, well, keep moving the Frost Trolls away. And it's like no big deal. I wonder if it should be like, hey, move the Frost Trolls once toward a near building, or if the Frost Trolls are in a space with the building, they destroy the building. If they're not, move them once toward a closest building. That might make a little bit more sense, and maybe not destroy every building, just only destroy buildings where they are. I don't know. Look, game design's hard. I mean, I respect the job. The team behind this game has made some really marked improvements, and that's a lot in the sounds. The end is a lot less anticlimactic than it was, just from the experience of the game. And there is something lacking in not having that extra sensory experience with the sounds coming from the tower and whatnot. I'm always really hesitant to put any audio on for copyright reasons, and I just don't know enough of the rules behind that to know if I can or I can't, or I probably could have just reached out to Restoration Games and gotten permission, but you know, just didn't. So this is what you get. You get my beautiful dulcet tones just serenading you for way too long. Is what it is. But look, this was fun. Glad to finally get this on the channel. If you want to see what's coming up next in solo playthroughs land, You know what to do. Go to my Patreon page. Link is in the description below. There I put a public post at the beginning of every month around thereabouts, which tells you what I'm playing in the month we are currently in, with a sneak peek at the month to come. While you're there, if there's a tier of support that makes sense for you, please do consider that. I would really appreciate the extra support as I continue to invest an immense amount of time and effort into growing this channel. In the meantime, questions, comments, epiphanies, please put them in the comment section below. Are there any house rules that you put into your games of Return to Dark Tower to make it better for you? I would love to know that. Have an interesting discussion there. I mean, one thing we could do with this game to make it harder is play 4 heroes, but honestly, I don't feel like standing up and walking around this giant table of mine to make that happen. So 2 heroes is where it is at, and I will play 4 heroes with my friends on the rare occasion that we pull this game out, as opposed to the other hundreds of games between my friend group that we want to play. So, you know, table time is a premium for any game in these collections for sure. But I will be done yammering for now. Thank you for joining me as always, and until next time, happy gaming.